Planned Parenthood posted on Instagram tips on how to be more sex positive this year. I consider myself to be pretty sex positive, so I'm going to look at them. Let's get into this. Now, first we have don't judge other people's lifestyles. And I agree with this in a general sense, but it wouldn't be very sex positive if we didn't judge the Danny Masterson and R. Kelly types, don't you think? Let's continue. The next one is advocate for comprehensive sex ed. And my question is, for who exactly? For kids or for everyone? And how comprehensive does it have to be? I don't think it's necessary to teach kids about everything there is to know about sex. At a certain age, they should know the aspects of different sexual activities. They should also know the dangers that come with them, but nothing too graphic and nothing too detailed. The next one is stop shaming STIs. And I guess you mean stop shaming people with STIs or stop using STIs to shame certain people. So I understand where you're coming from and I agree with this one. However, it's not something to be proud of and it is a concern. I don't know if that's what this is insinuating, but if it is, I don't agree with that. So the next one we got is support the LGBT community. I don't really see how that necessarily makes you more sex positive. It definitely makes you more inclusive. But I don't think this is necessary for you to be more sex positive. But it also depends on what you mean by support. If you mean financially support, I don't really think that's necessary. Anyway, moving on, we have ask for people's pronouns. Again, I don't see how this correlates with sex positivity. I find it rather strange to try to sexualize the LGBT community and the pronouns in general, especially the LGBT community when A stands for asexual. You know, this is just really weird to sexualize these things. I understand how it's more inclusive, but this has nothing to do with sex positivity in my opinion. The next one on here I kind of find concerning, and that's communicate your needs. Now, I understand it's important to communicate your sexual desires with your partner, and you shouldn't be neglected sexually in a relationship. However, you shouldn't consider those desires needs. When you label it like that, it sounds kind of predatorial. Now, I know maybe you're just being exaggerant and you're not being literal, but maybe we should stick away from those labels, don't you think? Now, this next one sends me a lot of mixed messages and it's really weird, and it's prioritize pleasure. I really don't understand what this means or who this is directed towards, but I don't know what else to say about this. I think it would be more beneficial to prioritize boundaries and to prioritize pleasure. I understand you shouldn't be ashamed of your sexual desires and your curiosity with it, but this just really does sound predatorial, and people might take this the wrong way. Boundaries should be the thing that you put above everything else if you really want to talk about sex positivity. So next on the list, we got support sex worker rights. Now, I don't know how you're going to support sex worker rights unless you're a politician or you purchase sex work. Anyway, if you're suggesting you should purchase sex work, that should be on you. You shouldn't have to do that to be more sex positive. I think that's strange. Like, obviously, I don't think it should be illegal to be a sex worker, but how can you support them? Maybe you can advocate for their rights, but that's really as far as you can go. If you want to support them, then I guess you can indulge in the activity. Finally, we got continue to educate yourself. And this one I 100% agree with. You should definitely educate yourself and not get your education from the likes of a Planned Parenthood Instagram post. Anyway, maybe I'm not educated on this enough. If you want me to go and do one of these classes at Planned Parenthood, give me 1,000 likes and I'll go and do it.